Hello guys, and welcome back to our next Visual Basic application examples, and today we will be looking into random numbers. So in Visual Basic, how do we actually generate random numbers? Random numbers can be generated through the random class, and this numbers is actually being generated using the built-in algorithm within Visual Basic. So you can often use random numbers in certain mathematical tests or to provide random numbers on a situation where you would need a random number. So how do you actually call the random number? So you can actually use the random number by assigning it by just calling it random. And in most cases, you would need to actually initialize the new variable to the word new. This is because when you use random number, you have to make sure that the numbers is actually being generated randomly, no matter how many times you actually call the random number. So that is the reason why you have to call the word, you have to use the word new in your random variable. So, but today's example will be much more easy and straightforward, where we will be generating random numbers and we will also generate random numbers by using a certain minimum and maximum values. So now we are back on our Visual Basic form on Visual Studio 2017. And today's example will be using only two controls, which is the button and the label control. So this is actually quite easy and straightforward. So I'm just going to put the controls here. And the idea is to actually use the button click to generate the random number through the label text property. So now I'm just going to increase the font of the text so that we can actually see how the random number is actually being displayed through the label text property. And if we go into the button click event, this is where we will be clicking the button and make sure that the values is actually being displayed. Uh, First, I will declare a private variable, which is a variable that can be used in many subs. So I just going to assign this as ran, a small letter ran as random, which is I called it the random class, and we have to put it new so that every time the number is being generated randomly, no matter how many times you use it. And now we have the random number, so we need to assign the variable to the label control text property. So we're going to put it here ran, and when we put in the full stop, you can see that the following function is actually being displayed. But today we will be looking it only in a next and next double. So if you put next and just put it here without any assigning values into it, let's just see what is the value is actually being displayed right now. As our application appear, we can see that the label is actually being displayed, and now if we click the button, you can see that the value is actually being displayed here. And if you click the next time, the different number is actually being displayed. So if you try to click as many times as possible, you would notice that the random number is being generated each time the button is being clicked. However, the number is actually being too large, uh, that the number is actually quite large right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign a boundary, a minimum and a maximum value. So in the next here, what you can put in, you can start with the minimum value as 0, and if you put a comma, then you can see that the following function actually shows the description of the next function, and you can put in the next value, maximum value. So I'm going to put in here 12, and let's run the thing. So here you would get a random number that runs between 0 to 12. So let's click 6, 10, 5, 4, 2. So each time when you click the button, a random number between 0 to 12 is actually being generated through the label text property. So this is the random number is actually being displayed through integer. So what if you want to display the number in a decimal point? So that's the reason why we have the next double, where the number is actually being displayed in a double form. But let's erase the value here and just let it run as it is. And you can see here that it gives a description that the number is being generated equals to 0 and less than 1. So let's see what is the values is actually being displayed right now. So you can see the values here is actually quite large. The value here is quite large. It has a really long decimal value each time you click the number, and the number is actually quite randomly is between 0 to 1. But if, let's say, if you want to truncate the value, or you want to round it up to the next decimal places, what we can do, we can use the maths class. The maths class is actually used as maths.round, and you just put the value within the put the value inside, and you can actually round the number using this way. But if I want to round it to let's say 2 decimal place, you put in the random variable within, put in a comma, and you can see that the value that you want to put in is here, and how many decimal places do you want it to be rounded off. So I'm going to put 3 here, and if I click start, it should give me a decimal place of 3. So you can see 3 decimal places numbers is actually being generated randomly here. So this is a very simple and straightforward example of using random numbers. And thank you for watching. And if you have any ideas or any suggestions of what kind of Visual Basic examples to be implemented, please let me know in the comments, then I will actually try to make a video out of it. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for your time for watching.